In this video, we're going to focus on an introduction to Tailwind CSS with Chart.js. And officially here, you might have seen I have some older videos about Tailwind, but Tailwind has a new version, which is version 3, and it can be interesting. So what I want to do now is to get a tiny taste of this new version and just start to get familiar with that. So to do this, what I want to do first is to go to Chartjs 3 getting started. We're going to grab our default code here. So if I scroll down here, you can see here we have this chunk of code, and I want to copy all of this. And what I want to do eventually, when we copy this, we're going to convert all of the CSS here into a Tailwind CSS. So let's start and work with that. So copy this. Then we go in here, just going to paste this in here, and then cut this out and put it in here. Alright, so save this, refresh, and now we have our HTML version here with CSS. So what I want to do here is, basically this is our item that is basically the default or the root of the CSS. We just clear out everything, remove all the margins and paddings. And what I want to do here is basically all these classes here, convert them nicely into a Tailwind version. So I'm going to use here a very basic Tailwind CSS with the CDN. So I'm going to go here to Tailwind and I click here on Get Started. So once I do this here, then I have to click here on Play with CDN. And that's just the basic one. And all I want to grab here is just this chunk of code here, which is the Tailwind CSS file. And then once I have this, I'm going to put it in here. And then if I, apparently this is a JavaScript as well. If I save this now, refresh, nothing happens essentially. Maybe you notice some tiny adjustments here, which is fine. We're going to work with it now. So to do this, what I want to do now is here to convert all of these. Or let's start with the first one here, which would be the chart menu. So in here, we have this, and this is one of the best things of Tailwind CSS is the search function here. Sadly enough, before it was here up, which is easier, now they put it in a corner, and sometimes we're jumping up and down, we have to scroll a lot more. Anyway, doesn't matter. So what we're going to focus here on is here the width, and then we're going to put in the width of the screen. So I'm going to say here width 100%, or basically width. Let's see what we can get. If I click here on width, gets you percentage, min width, max width. Well, let's see here, let's say width. Let's see what we get with width. You can see here the width, they have many different items here. And they are indicating here as well in pixels and numbers. And what I want to here basically is the percentage with screen, or basically the entire viewport. That's the one we really need. So I can copy this here. So let's put in this, and this here, of course, what I will do is I will comment out this chart menu class, scroll down here, and search for this, and then to now put it here on the width screen. So if I save this now here, refresh, alright, so now we have a full screen of this. Am I correct? You can see here, there you are. So now what we can do here is just continue on with that. So we have this chart menu with the width screen. What we have next one is the height here. So we need to indicate a height here. So in here we're going to go back, we scroll up here to search. We're going to say here height, and let's see here max height, let's say just the basic height, and probably this will be a fixed height. So if I scroll down here, you can see here the options here, the height or the h pixel. So this is the one here, although this is not what I would say in pixels. How it's calculated is that every value equals 4 pixels. So in our case, we need to have 40 pixels. So we can say here height equals to 10. Why? 10 times 4 equals 40. So we're going to copy that and I'm going to put it in here. So many might say the downside of Tailwind is having multiple classes, which is correct. Somehow it can be a downside. The upside of this is, and this is what I really like, because I usually use Bootstrap. And here's the problem with Bootstrap. In Bootstrap, you learn all the class names, but you don't know exactly the values. And in Tailwind, this is the benefit of it. Many of the values here are directly similar with the classes here. So basically, you're learning CSS at the same time, and that's quite powerful. Although not always. As you can see here, height of this is not a fixed value. Anyway, let's look at this. There we are. All right, so it did something here. It reduces a little bit of our height, which is fine. Most likely here, it's because here the padding we need to put in here. So we're going to check with that. Doesn't matter so much. What our goal or our main goal here is just to get used to entire Tailwind. So the next one here is the background color, and the background color here was slightly dark. So I'm going to search here and just going to scroll up here and just say again here background color. Background color, and the background color, let's select this and let's see what we have here. And you can see here they have a lot of properties or colors already set here, and in this case I will accept this slate background color of slate 800, which is slightly dark, very close to what we have here approximately, so that will be acceptable for me. So what I'm going to do here, save that and refresh it. There you are. So this here needs to be converted, and I'm going to just grab a color that's very close to this pinkish color here, because this was a pinkish color. So I'm going to search here for the text. Oh, before I even do that, we need to check here. It will be here in the chart menu space paragraph. So that will mean that we are basically within the paragraph. Once you go basically more deeper in the paragraph, so it must be in the chart menu class and with the paragraph name. Of course, here this chart menu, all right, that's this one here, and this specific item here should have then the class setting. So what is it? A padding. So let's search here for padding. We'll scroll up here and say padding. Padding, and this padding here, padding single side, I'll just say a padding, that will be most likely. You can see a padding X, Y. Alright, what I want to do is padding everywhere. And how is the padding being calculated? Padding pixel equals 1, alright. What I want to do here is I need to have 4 pixels approximately, or just some padding on top, bottom, left, and right. You can see here padding, I guess 1 would equal to how many pixels? Probably 4 pixels, so that would mean 2 equals 8 pixels. Alright, so what I will say here, I'll just indicate here padding of 2, that will be fine, acceptable. Go in here, class, and here we'll just say p equals 2. So if I save that here, and we can just do immediately the margin as well, or sorry, the font size. That will be the font size. So let's go back here. We have that. Alright, it does something, but you will not notice as much. Let's change, I guess, the color. Oh, we forgot that one, the color. Let's get the color, and then we get also the font size. So in here, I'm going to search for this. I'll say here font color, or just type in color. Let's see what it is. Text decoration or text color. So this is the text class, or text. That's the color class. Would be text colors. What would be the text color here? There's apparently multiples, as you can see here. We can just search for something that is very close to the pink value that we have. So let's scroll this here. Let's see if we have anything here. Red. Oh, I didn't saw anything here. I will just accept fuchsia. I think that will be fine. Do we have anything else? Let's get a red one. I would say red is, in our case, also quite suitable. It should be a bit reddish color. So I'm going to copy that and then put it in here as well. Where are we? In here. So if I save that here, refresh. Alright, so that is a nice darkish red. That's fine. Next, what I want to do here is eventually the that is the padding here. Alright, so I will have to comment all of this out. We did the padding. We need to do the font size here. So if I save this here, let's see that it's alright. Now we have the font size of 20 pixels. So I'm going to say here, go up here to the search, font size. Here we are. And in this case, I would just say here would be base large. Let's get the text LG, which is large, which is in a RAM format. So that's fine. I'll accept that one. And then we're going to put it in here. Let's see here. We have that. Save that. Refresh. There we are. Alright, so what I want to do next is, of course, is now we have the pinkish background color, or the light red. We convert it to a light red, that will be fine. So what will be next is the chart card, which is again a width of 100, which we had also already specified here, width of screen. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it here in the chart card. Am I not mistaken? Yes, that's correct. Comment this out. So we have here the height calculated. Alright, so this is a slightly tricky one. We have to see here how we can do this. Let's do the background color here. Let's do that one first. So the background color would be red. If the other one would be red 600, we can get one probably red maybe 100. So we're going to put that one in here, red 100. Will be a lighter version of this color. Put it here. If I refresh here, does it exist? Apparently it does not exist. All right. Let's look at the background color here. Background color red. Let's see, do we get anything here? No. I'll just say here background color. That'll be fine. Put in here. Look in here for the red color. We get here background color BG red 100. I'm surprised it didn't work. So this should work here. All right. So sorry. The reason why it didn't work is of course the text should be BG. There you are. Refresh. There we are. Now we have this one working. So what we need to do here is basically the height. So how do we get the height here based on this item here? This is the background color. Well, let's try and see if we can do a calculation structure similar to this. So what I need to do here is height with cal. For calculation, height. Max height, well, let's see, maybe it's a max height or it's height. Let's do a height here. Let's see what we can get here. Height will be the number. We know it's 40 pixels here, so let's see. H screen will make the element expand entire height of the viewport. This is basically what we need, but we need to move it basically to the bottom. Let's see here. Do we have any full? Alright, so it gets here certain values. That's alright. Over full. So what I will do is this. I'll just see if we can do that. And I'm afraid that might be not possible. So let's try first and see what we get. Because what I really want to do here, let's save that. Go back here. Get this, but I want to remove the scroll effect here. We have even a left and right. Alright, fair enough. Let's see, full H screen full would mean 100%. That would mean, well, let's see here what happened. Is full. What is that exactly? Let's search for H full. Would it be full related to this or full of everything else? Parent. All right. So this would be based on the parent. So probably could maybe use this one here. I'm going to say this. I save that here, refresh. Alright, so if that would be the parent, then maybe we need a separate div here. The only way what I would say here is basically this, H screen. That would be probably the best way to do it. Oh, we still get full, we get the screen here, full. I was expecting that it would be contained within this. What we could do here is, let's search here what would be the best solution. 100%. Do we have that? Percentage. Let's see, we have a percentage here. I guess this was slightly tricky, so I need to go here. Height percentage. Height percentage. And do we have that? Max height. Settings of max height. Height, line height. Alright, fair enough. Let's see max height. The maximum height would be this, minimum content, fit content. Alright, let's grab this. See if this will be, is it only related to fit content or maybe is it fit everything else? Alright, it's based on the content here that doesn't work. Alright, so I'll just leave it for now. I'll accept this. And then let's start to position this card here in the center. So what we need to do here is basically the following. We need to have the display flags, align items, and justify content. So you can see here, it's still a bit tricky with Tailwind. I will be definitely learning this more because this is becoming very trending and many people are requesting this as well. So we're going to see here, what we're going to do here, height, well, we have here, what was it? The Flexbox. All right, flex, see if that specifically, flex controlling the items, both row and sync. All right, with a shrink, sorry, growth and shrink. So what I want to do here, this will be flex. That will be based on this. flex, and eventually this will affect that one. So I'm going to say a flex. And then what I want to do here is, alright, we don't have that here. I need to say here. Let's search for that. Will be the align items. How do we align the items? Here, align items in the center. Alright, that's this one here. And it's just very similar or very close to the terms. Align center. And then we have another one which would be related to justify content. We're just basically putting them as well in the center, horizontal and vertical. In here, we're going to search again. Justify content. There we are. Center. And then from this, if we save that, let's see what we get. There we are. So now it's in the center, of course not 100% because we have here a bit of space, but that will be acceptable for now. So the next thing what we need to do here is, let's look at it as probably the border here and give us the border radius. Let's see here, that's this one here. That's the final item that we're going to work on. And well, here we have a width, and this width is 700 pixels. So we're going to search here for width with a pixel amount. So we're going to say here width. Fixed width, percentage width. Alright, so we want a min width, max width. Alright, let's grab max width. I guess max width would be good here, or a percentage width. Maybe that's even better. Percentage width. With percentage. So we have 700 pixels. What I would say here, I guess something like this. Or let's get this like 75%. The width of 75% would be fine. So we're going to grab here this, put it in our chart box, and let's comment out everything in chart box. Save that and refresh here. Alright, so we have this here, but you can see here background color is gone. And maybe our width is slightly too big. Let's make it slightly smaller. 2/3 would be probably more appropriate. Search for the item here. Where are you? There we are. Save that. Oh, go here. There you are. So now what I want to do here is padding of 20. And then we remember in force, so padding will be probably 5. 5 times 4 equals 20. So I'm going to say here will be 4. Next what we can do here is the border radius. Alright, so let's start with the border radius here. And in the border radius, we select this. We have your border radius. We want it in pixels, rounded. So you can see here we have the rounded corners, and then you have, I guess, default. We have the rounded medium size, large, and I guess in this case, the large size would be fine. So I'm going to grab this here with border radius 20, so that should be similar. Let's see, where is it? In here. There we are. Save that. Go back here. Refresh. Alright, it just takes some time. And of course we cannot see anything. And the reason why we don't have anything, we don't have a border yet. So let's put in a border. So what I'm going to do here is just a quick border. Border. Type in border. Define border. I guess we can put a border width and a border style eventually. What I will do is I'll make it a slightly thicker border. Border of 4 pixels. And let's see here, do we have anything with a border color? I don't see anything yet. Border, a border, we can indicate that one. Alright, probably will be doing that. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to say here border. And what we have to get here is, you can see here, border indigo 600. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to convert it into border red 600. So I refresh here. There we are, we get this nice border. Final item is to have a background color, and the background color should be white. So we have the background color here. Let's put in here, background color BG white. Copy that. And there we are. So you can see here, if you save this, you should have everything here. Alright. So this is basically how you can do it. And you notice that it might take some time in the beginning. I do notice that as you get more proficient with it, it gets easier and easier because you start to remember the class names, Luckily, most of these class names are quite similar with CSS, but some are also quite similar to Bootstrap. So you have a mixture. So it's not 100% learning of CSS. If you really want to learn CSS, just only use CSS itself, which sometimes is also quite good. So you have just the basics, because knowing the basics is always the best. But Tailwind is getting famous, and many people tend to prefer something like this, which helps you to design items faster. So this is basically a short introduction with Tailwind. So perhaps you want to go a little bit more deeper with Tailwind, or you want to see some of my other videos. I have them here, so if you're interested in that, you can check out here the entire series here for Tailwind, but this is in Tailwind version number 2. The video we make today, or right now, what we did here was basically built on Tailwind version 3. So this one has a slightly different version, and version 3 has some additional features. So definitely recommend to check out this one if you want, but just have that in mind.